You see skateboarding videos of people crushing it. You don't see the hundreds of hours where they failed the trick a lot, or they were grinding at night in the mornings, like breaking their ankles and stuff like that. You just see the amazing videos, right? So it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You guys, when you're grinding early nights, late mornings, you're doing all these videos, thousands of hours, then you put a video out, people are like, oh my gosh, that person's amazing. But the reality is, you know how much hours you put in. So that imposter syndrome goes away as you put in more work and put in more mastery focus. I've had it until I knew how much work I put in. So my mindset went from when someone hired me to speak, I'm like, oh my God, they hired me? That's crazy. Now I'm like, of course they hired me. Who else would they hire? It totally flipped. And that's the mentality you want, but it only comes not from learning, not really from growing, not from studying, it comes from actual execution. One thing I wrote down a long time ago that you guys can take with you is on purpose, off yourself. So everyone that's on purpose and off themselves, they don't think, like Mark says, I look bad, I feel weird, I. It's not about I, it's about them. So if you're on purpose and you have such a vision that penetrates people, then you don't really care because you're so in the zone of helping people, doesn't matter. And that's a hard place to get to, but if you saw some of me in his first videos, you would laugh because they were so bad. In our society, it's almost euphoric seeing people that have mastered their craft. Our society is so like, how do they do it? Because they're not focused on mastering anything. So it's such a gap. They're like, I cannot believe he can do that. But the reality is they've just put in more time. I always check myself because I sometimes do compare. And there was this story that I'll never forget where I was watching David Blaine. He's the magician. He does the most insane stunts ever. And I was catching myself like, there's no way I could do any of that stuff. Then they asked him on the Tim Ferriss show, so what's your biggest fear? And I'm thinking, I mean, he's been underwater. He's almost died 5-6 times. He's swallowed gasoline. And he goes, public speaking. And I'm like, hold on. He goes, I could never get in front of like 500 people and speak. And I'm like, hold on, I just spoke in front of 3,000 people in Dubai. How is he? And then I caught myself like, he's just like me, but he has a different fear. I would never want to do these things that he does. He doesn't want to speak like we do. So it just reminded me, it's like these people that you see that are euphoric, they've just mastered their craft. So if you guys can put that much time into it, people will see you as the same way. You see skateboarding videos of people crushing it. You don't see the hundreds of hours where they failed the trick a lot, or they were grinding at night in the mornings, like breaking their ankles and stuff like that. You just see the amazing videos, right? So it's the same thing with entrepreneurship. You guys, when you're grinding early nights, late mornings, you're doing all these videos, thousands of hours, then you put a video out, people are like, oh my gosh, that person's amazing. But the reality is, you know how much hours you put in. So that imposter syndrome goes away as you put in more work and put in more mastery focus. I've had it until I knew how much work I put in. So my mindset went from when someone hired me to speak, I'm like, oh my God, they hired me? That's crazy. Now I'm like, of course they hired me. Who else would they hire? It totally flipped. And that's the mentality you want, but it only comes not from learning, not really from growing, not from studying, it comes from actual execution and working on it. So that's kind of a point that I always think about, where it's like, you should not put anyone on a pedestal. Even the celebrities, the people that have crushed even athletics, you just shouldn't, because they've just put in more time. You put in the same time, you'd be at the same spot, maybe even more. Me and Tim Sykes and Gerard were at a investor thing in Tokyo, and there was 30 companies pitching to us. 29 out of the 30, garbage. Nothing was what's in it for us, and it was all like futuristic. We're predicting all these sales. Like everyone can say, they put all these graphs where it's like, this is the prediction of our sales in the next 5 years. How many sales do you have now? None yet. And they also didn't tell us exactly what the money was used for and how we can get our money back. There was 2, I think. Me and Gerard invested in one and Tim invested in the other one. Good companies. But the reality is most of them did not tell us what's in it for us, what makes the company different, what problem is it solving, and where's the money gonna go? It needs to be articulate where the investor's like, damn, I don't wanna miss out on this. The focus is the biggest key. Like the Warren Buffett and Bill Gates at a conference, they asked them, what's your biggest breakthrough in your whole life? Different rooms, same answer, focus. Once I learned how to focus on one thing till it was completed, the game changed. So one thing, so many people these days, especially millennials, are just multi-focused. They're doing 100 things at once and nothing's sticking and they're not making money. Do one thing till you make money, master it, and keep doing that. But your one thing is that until you get some traction. And it's not until you're tired or until you're sick of it, it's until you get results. You're inspiring the people that want to be inspired. For example, there was a time when we were in Vegas and I was doing an inspirational post, and I don't do this for the people that will hate. If you're on a jet or something happens, like I'm on a private jet, you could say, they're like saying you're on a private jet, that's looking cocky. I'm doing it for the kids that are in the small towns that don't have any inspiration. If I inspire one kid and get 50 haters, I did my job. Because I don't care about the haters. They're gonna be there regardless, but I changed that one kid's life because he didn't have any inspiration, because that was me when I was younger. Something's wrong if you have no one hating on you. Because like we talk about, if you have a polarizing point of view, if you're trying to be different, if you're trying to do things that are uncommon, you'll always have the insecure people saying something to make up for what they're not doing. It'll always happen. So if everyone loves you, you're not reaching a lot of people, or you're not digging deep with the audience that's best for you anyways. So people just have to understand that. If you look at every legend, half the world hates them, half the world loves them. There's no one that's a legend that everyone's like, oh, he's so amazing. They're polarizing, half hate, half love. Whether it's Elon Musk, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's LeBron James, whether it's Kanye West, there's diehard fans that love them and diehard fans that hate them, but no one's ever like, he's all right. It's always a strong point of view, but that's how you deepen the relationship with your audience. You don't have to have the answer. I spent years banging my head against the wall, like, I gotta figure this out. No, you don't. Your network should figure it out for you. You don't have to. So if you're like, I don't know what my problem is, we will help you figure it out. That's the biggest game. We don't wanna be best friends with you, we wanna challenge you. So we could rub some of you guys the wrong way, we could challenge you, we're gonna call you out. You guys all have thick skin. If you're gonna get scared or emotional or sad when we call you out, you probably shouldn't be in this room. But I think people need that, right? You need someone to tell you what you need to hear, not what you wanna hear as well. So if you only make more money when you work more hours, that's a trap. You just have a high-paying job. So eventually, you're gonna be that person that has millions but has zero lifestyle. So we wanna help you guys. Like Mark said, he's gonna make more money than ever, working less. It's not about working less because I like working, but it's about having leverage where you don't have to work. You're working through your team, right? So if you're only making more dollars when you work more hours, that's a scary situation you can get in. So you wanna make sure you start delegating. I challenge you to think about, what does the next level look like? A lot of people don't know what the next level for them even looks like. They're like, I wanna crush it. It's like, everybody does. But you have to define for you, what does the next level look like, and what is the most efficient and effective way to get to that next level? And does that match all of your values and make sure that you do it the right way?